Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Grim Reaper bringing you another One Punch Man discussion. Today we're going to be covering a topic that I stumbled upon as I was rereading not only 127, but a lot of Garou's journey. Thought to myself, Garou's journey is riddled with great feats, badass battles, strength. But what's the best of it? What are the greatest highlights? What are the top 3 greatest achievements of Garou? Let's hop into it. So, the third one that I think, well, first let's define achievement. So, according to the dictionary, the Google search dictionary, it's something that you accomplish through great effort or skill. So, we're going to be using those parameters to define Garou's top 3 achievements. Number 3. Up against the A and B8, Garou encountered a group of monster hunters, criminal hunters. I don't know what the proper name for them would be besides just heroes. Death Gatling managed to gather a bunch of heroes that he handpicked that would fit into a team exactly strategized to take down Garou. I guess hearing about Garou's fighting tactics and his capabilities, not only from Tank Top but others, Gatling was able to formulate the proper strategy and get very, very close to bringing down Garou. With a single caveat that Garou himself mentioned, they would have had a single S-class there with the team. They would have had success. Now, the downfall and the failure of this plan can be attributed to that fact, to the cockiness, to the fact that Death Gatling was partially doing all this as a ploy to increase the name and popularity of lower class heroes. So there may have been a motive that may have been having a negative effect towards them, but let's say that wasn't a factor. Let's say that these guys, because they were heroes, because they had so much ambition for recognition, to be seen, to be as admired as the S-class heroes, and that drove them more. And they had even more reason to fight. So these A-B heroes, they took on Garou, and they did their best. They did some pretty good damage, poisoned him, slammed him down a few times, but he was able to maneuver across all different kinds of crazy situations where he was outmaneuvered, positioned, mispositioned, trapped. So many different scenarios that Garou got out of, where they were teaming up 2v2 attacks, 3v2 attacks, an attack that leads into one. You have to block an attack, and when you do, you get attacked by another one because you're delayed. All kinds of different tactics that the AB managed to employ pretty effectively, but they didn't meet the mark, not exactly. And Garou was able to overcome the majority of them until he met Death Gatling himself. Death Gatling made a proposition that he would allow Garou to live as long as he wasn't resisting. He immediately decided to resist, but Death Gatling still held off the firing on Garou because of his teammates that were in the direct vicinity of Garou on the direct battlefield, using a strategy of close combat, medium combat, and long-range combat to try and pin him down. So he couldn't shoot, but they were all done. They were all down, and now it was time. So Garou tells Death Gatling to don't shoot at the house. Tadio's inside. He doesn't believe him, so he goes off. At this moment, after such a crazy situation, we've seen him fight stronger opponents like Metal Bat. That was crazy, crazy fight, badass. But the amount of effort that he showed to take on the next attack, to take on Death Gatling's Hellfire, it really made a difference. To this day, I still revere that moment as, in my opinion, the moment in when Garou actually turned into a dragon. This was the first instance of Dragon Garou. This is why he was able to fight Genos, Bang, and Bomb immediately after this point. And we could even say that the culmination of those fights had a moment that he showed much more effort than he did here. Because it's not to say that he wasn't trying hard as hell up against Genos whenever he showed up, putting in work with his cannons and stuff. It's not like he wasn't getting his ass beat when Bang showed up. That's not the case. It's just that at this moment, on an even playing field, when somebody has a superior weapon, but you know you can still get in there, Garou got in there, and he showed us he can deflect bullets. This is the first time that we've seen it. He confirmed it to himself, and it really changed it changes the stakes in terms of supernaturalness of the situation. Obviously, we know that like somebody jumping off a fence shouldn't be able to crack the floor and throw a fucking a manhole cover upward when he slams down. But deflecting bullets is a whole different level. I was amazed when I saw that, and I want to count that as one of Garou's greatest achievements. The second achievement of almost immeasurable magnitude has to do, how do I put this? It has to do with Garou's tenacity. Now, tenaciousness is something that he's displayed in all of his fights. It's a characteristic that he has, and his main power could even be described as that, as being able to endure and overcome by default and get stronger because of it. But it's different whenever it takes the center stage like this. The second greatest accomplishment on Garou's resume is his encounter with Overgrown Rover. When Garou woke up from the encounter with Royal Ripper and Bug Guy, he showed us that no matter how strong, no matter how powerful, no matter what the odds, even if he goes down, he can get back up. And he might get back up stronger. So after the trap, the cheap play that the two demons played on him, Garou came back to come save Tario, grabbed him, took care of Royal Ripper. But on his way, he encountered 4 monsters. 3 of which were pretty formidable. Super Mouse, Unihorn, Sourhead. These individuals put up a dynamic of attacks and capabilities. One had a large mass and brute force with exceptional regeneration. Another had the ability to shoot liquid projectiles that could affect you in different manners, were made and composed of different properties. And the other one had the ability to project himself once thrown, had the sharp horn, strong horn, tough horn. And then whenever thrown by another one, it's pretty tough. They are defeated. We get to see Garou up against 3 demons, when previously 2 gave him some trouble. Previously 2 he could compete with. Now old boy was ready. Now old boy had the ability and the accomplishment of just beating these 3 demons like they was nothing, bruh. He knew he would be able to move forward. Until he showed up. And I know you know what I'm talking about. Arguably the strongest dragon that there is right now, outside of the extremes. Overgrown Rover. How do I put this? We've never gotten a panel for Orochi whenever Garou was claiming that he was gonna die. Garou didn't flash back to his childhood, see a TV in the middle of a white room when Orochi punched his ass. When Orochi was letting off that cannon of fire, Garou didn't say he was gonna die. It was with Overgrown Rover. Overgrown Rover was the first one that put that true fear inside of Garou with a point-blank attack. Sure, at the beginning of the encounter, Garou had the ability, had the headstrong fortitude to take him on as a threat. Threw Tario at the side and told him, "Hey, get out of here. I can't play around." And when he said it, "Oh, this must be a true dragon. So this is what a dragon is." And he saw one. Bro, Rover put in that work. And I tell you, man, I'm talking about just one moment. And this one moment isn't at the end of the fight. This one moment isn't the another part. That flash right there, bro, that point blank flash, it not only set the tone for Rover as a crazy ass strong monster, but it set the tone for what Garou was going to be dealing with the rest of the series. No other time before, not Bang, not Bomb, not Genos, almost Genos, but not Genos. Nobody was hitting Garou with cannons like that. Not a single individual was producing fire like that. Rover's on a whole different tier of cannons. And he hit him point blank in the face. In the face. My nigga ended up at the bottom of the fucking cavern and shit. Just sitting there drooling down, just fucking exhausted and stuff. Tanking. Tanking that shit. That's the first time that we've seen Garou tank a point blank shit like that. And thrive. Thrive after that bitch. It set the tone completely for Garou. It completely changed. I was already a huge hype fan for him because he had gotten to this point. Everything was so badass and amazing. But just this encounter, a whole different level of respect. A whole different level of respect. If you're eating this nigga's shit, who else, man? Who else can do shit like that? There's not very many people. There's not very many people whatsoever. So, the first example was Garou being able to overcome Death Gatling's shower of bullets, machine gun fire, and he was able to protect the house that Taria was in. Great job. Secondly, he accomplished to overcome a point-blank blast from Rube, the first that he'd ever taken. Overwhelming. Too much. But he handled it. He got through. And he managed to persevere to get into another fight. We followed Garou this entire time. And we've seen a variety of different abilities displayed. Some of which he acquired himself by learning, not from his own master, but through enemies. Techniques like the Watchdog Run, Give Me Paw, Fighting Spirit. Different techniques that he's acquired have made him much more of a dynamic fighter as well. And at a certain point, you have to describe this capability of instant learning, of seeing and adapting in almost no time with very, very little exposure. You have to see it as either a superpower or genius. And if you were to entertain it as a genius side, if you were to entertain it as the capabilities of his intellect, Garou's greatest accomplishment as of yet is the acquisition of the whirlwind and the water stream in unison to do the dragon fist technique. This is Garou's greatest accomplishment to this moment. Now I know it's not like the other feats, it's not like the other accomplishments, and it may seem like it has little weight to you because it's in particular, this bugs me, the fact that it's not displayed in the panels. It could almost even be glossed over that he did the dragon fist. But not only is it an ultimate technique that exists, so we have to get into context of this. Bang and Bomb do this together. So there's no way that Bang could have taught this to him. Bang would have taught him a variant or a solo style. No. He's managed to do that technique that they've managed to put together themselves. Two masters. And he's derived it on his own just by mixing the two techniques naturally. He got to that point. That's crazy. That's a crazy feat. The fact that it was that as potent as it was up against Darkshine, that it was overwhelming him to a point that there wasn't a ceasing in between all the assaults, and he couldn't really find an opening. And he had to use his full power to counter with the super ally bazooka. That's a pretty intense attack. It forced somebody to go full power just to counter it. That's pretty intense. Garou's capabilities, fighting wise, are exceptional, and I'm excited to see what other things he can pull out by continuing to integrate new fighting styles that he sees into his current fighting style, by adapting what he already has to improve it, similar to what he did with Watchdog, and changing his running style and different movements and such. There's so many different things that could lay in the future of Garou in terms of abilities, power, and just how you draw him with those powers. And I'm here for it, bro. I'm here for it, dog. Well, in the meantime, make sure you like the video, subscribe. If you'd like to discuss this topic and more, make sure you check out the Discord below, and we'll see you there. Yo ho ho!